Welcome everyone to Overcome podcast. This is going to be the first episode of 2024, and it is a very important episode because my guest today is a warrior, and she is gonna talk about one of the most amazing overcome scenarios that I heard. And I'm not gonna spoil. I'm gonna let her talk. So Nia, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Nia, we met through a common friend, Greg McCoy,
Mhm.
through our love for fitness and everything. But we have way more things in common. You are from the IT field. I am from the IT security field. And recently, we had one more thing in common because my mom had a stroke, and I learned from you that you also had a stroke, and your story was so amazing that I was like, okay, I have to learn more about that. So let's go back to the beginning, and I believe it was in 2014 that you had yours, right?
Yes, yes. And I just had a birthday, and I'm 46 now. And when I had my stroke, I was 36. So it's been almost 10 years.
Wow. And it
And
was out of nothing. I mean, you didn't see coming. Were you already taking care of your health? Were you already in fitness, or was this even before fitness?
no, this just was a shoulder shocker. I have been fitness since 2000, 1997. I have been, so fitness was a is a huge part of my life. So my stroke was brought about due to birth control pills.
Wow.
And I just started to take them. I had changed my birth control pills, and it was 30 days in, and I was took my pill before at bedtime, and in my sleep I had a stroke.
So when you woke up, you already felt like you were paralyzed, or not really.
No, so at the time I was in a IT consultant. So my client was in Atlanta, and this was my first 2 weeks stint at home. So luckily I was at my home, not on the road. And my boyfriend at the time, he's my husband now, but he went off to work, and I was working a lot. We were releasing our software, and we were 2 months from go live, and so it was a very hectic time. And um, he went to work uh, that morning, so I had my stroke overnight. Around I took my birth control pill around 11:45 on Monday night, and on Tuesday, I I was I just slept, and he said, "Oh, I know you have been working," and he went out to work, so I was at home by myself. And when he got home from work, he realized that I was still sleeping, and I remember him coming home. I was still in bed, and I said, in my mind, I said, did I go to work today? Well, I had my meetings. Who was covering for me at work?
Hmm.
And he came in. He said hi. He gave me a hug, and I was still sleeping, but he didn't know that I was not saying anything. So he went off, had his dinner, and I was still sleeping. And so one more day passed, and I still was sleeping, and he let me sleep. And at by that time, I had my stroke. So I was not, I couldn't talk. I was aware of what was going on, but I couldn't talk, and I had no way of communicating to him that something was wrong.
But what about movement? You were still moving, all right?
Yes. So when he came home from work for the first day, I had just gone to the restroom. So I was able to move, function. I remember just being very, very tired. So he came and he said, "Oh, I know you are working so hard. I will let you sleep because I was not getting a lot of sleep at that time." And no, I think it was all in love, just to allowing me the opportunity to rest. But one more night passed, and the second night, he also went to work, and I took a shower to get myself ready for work. So he was rushing out the door. He went off to work. I was in the shower, so he didn't think anything of it. And that was Thursday. And my coworker called, uh, and so I knew that I had a lot of work to do. And in my mind, I said, I don't think I went to work yesterday, but I know my team can handle it. So I said, let me get a shower, prepare myself for the day, and go to work. And so I went to the shower, and and I knew that something was wrong. I couldn't place myself, how to get myself ready for work. I knew that I had a lot of tasks to accomplish, but I said, I don't. Something is not right. I didn't even know about anything about a stroke, or I thought it was something to do with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Not never a stroke. So I said, let me get my shower and prepare some food, and then take my meetings. And I so I took my shower. I had a towel, and I went to the couch in the living room. I said maybe some sunlight will make me feel better, some vitamin D. And then the phone rang, and I said, and I kept hearing it ring. And I went over to the phone, and I said, "Oh my God, I don't know how to answer this phone."
Wow.
And I said, I can hear it ringing. I know I'm supposed to answer the phone. I couldn't answer the phone. I didn't know how to turn it on. I said, something is really wrong. And I said, I had some meals for my work trip. They were frozen. And I said, oh, for some reason, I said, oh, my meals were delivered yesterday, and I bet they are still frozen. So we live in a townhouse, so my living room is on second floor. So I went downstairs, saw my box, carried my box upstairs, got some scissors to open the box, and then I started seeing spots. And I said, something is definitely wrong. And I said, I should probably call 911. But I said, I don't know how to do it. How am I going to get help? And then the phone rang again. And this was the second time the phone rang, and it was my coworker. And and I said, oh, someone, if I can answer the phone, maybe they can help me. So I got the phone, and I said, I still don't know how to answer. And I said,
Because you couldn't speak.
I couldn't speak. I didn't know that I couldn't speak, but in my mind, was having this full fledged conversation with myself.
Wow.
So I said, let me hold on to this phone. And I said, I will go sit in my chair. Maybe I will take a nap. That was so, maybe I will take a nap, and then I will know how to answer the phone. So at least this was around 10 o'clock a.m. Phone rang third time. And I said, oh, and I was praying to God. oh, Leslie, answer the phone, please, please. So I just started to press buttons, and the person on the other end of the phone answered. Mary Rumber. She is my coworker. She is my savior for this time in my life. She's an angel to me. And Mary, and she's a friend to this day. And Mary was on the phone, and she said, I couldn't place. She said, "This is Mary from Assurance, your client Assurance Solutions. They are looking for you. You had not been to work in 2 days. Everything all right?" And I said, Mary, what are you talking about? I know you who you are. I know my client. I know. And she said, you were not saying anything. You just were grunting in the phone. And in my mind, I was having a full fledged conversation with her.
Oh wow.
And Mary lived in Minnesota at the time, so she was able to call 911. And she said, I had called 911. They're coming. And I said, oh, I only have my towel from my shower. What do you mean they're coming? I am not dressed. And this was July 28th. I went into my closet. I put on some underwear, thank goodness, my towel, my favorite sweater. That is all I can grab. My favorite sweater. Grabbed some jeans. I couldn't put the jeans on, because I didn't know how. I had these jeans, and I said, "Oh, I don't know how." And then I heard the knocks on the door. I said, "They are coming." I don't know. I just dropped the jeans, and then I went. Mary was still on the phone. I went downstairs, and I said, "Let me get myself together." And I sat on the stairs to gather my composure. And I said, "Okay, they're coming. Just get it together." I was able to unlock the door. There were six firefighters coming to save me. And I said, "Oh God." And now I remember the one of them looking at in my face, and he said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "No, I'm not all right." And he said, "I will take you." And I said, "Let me get some pants on." So I crawled upstairs. He pulled me back down, and he just put me on the stretcher. And I said, "I don't know how Jason will know when
Well,
where
and
I
by the
am."
way, all this conversation that you're saying is you talking to yourself because words were not
Yeah.
coming out of your mouth, right?
And I remember being go taken into the ambulance, and they took me to the emergency room. And I just remember praying. It was very bright and sunny, a sunny day. I said, I just remember praying that everything will be all right. And when I wake up, my husband will be there. I don't know how, but he will. I just had faith that will be there. And that was what happened. The next thing I knew, I was in the emergency room, and Jason was there. And he said, "Are you all right? What is going on?" And I remember the nurse. She gave me some papers to sign, and by that time was having trouble seeing out of my right eye. So everything was blurry. And she gave me a pen to sign my admission papers, and I couldn't sign. And I just cabled a clipboard to Jason, and I said, I don't know how to hold this pen. I don't know how to do anything. So that began my hospital stay, and I still didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought I had laryngitis or
And
something.
so,
That's why I
in
could.
which point did the doctor diagnose you with a stroke, and which what type of stroke was it? Ischemic?
Yeah. But I still didn't know that for several hours. It seemed like a day before I even know what had happened to me. And Jason said we had to talk about something serious. You had a stroke, and I said, "What is a stroke?" All that I knew about a stroke was that it was advertised every time you had a heart attack, you have a stroke. So I thought it was something to do with the heart. And I said, I know I had been working a lot, but it's not that bad. I will tell you this. It took me 1 year to see all my scans about my brain. I didn't want to know. Um, so it took me 1 year to see it, but it affected one third of my brain. It's damaged, and you can hear the um, my speech center was impacted, and initially I had paralysis on my right side. I couldn't feel hot and cold. I had aphasia, so I had trouble and apraxia. Apraxia is the trouble formulating the words, and aphasia is remembering the words. So but I still couldn't talk. So it took after I so I spent 4 days in the hospital, and then I went to outpatient rehabilitation facility in Dallas, and it took me 1 week to be able to say "mom." That was my first word, was "mom," and my mom was there. So there was it was, and I said, I will be okay. I know this is hard, but I will be okay. So I had to start with the basics of making sounds.
But during the whole time, you were fully aware of everything was happening. When they explained to you what happened, you were conscious, or did you lose some memories?
No, no, I had my memory was fully intact. So was so grateful for that, and I was able, besides the paralysis on the right side, I was able to walk and talk and feed myself. So for, as you know, fitness is life for me. So I was so grateful that that was not taken away from me. So I was able to exercise. It was slow, but I was able to do it.
After how many months?
The same week.
Really?
Yeah,
So you did.
I
You
had
were
to.
not in the hospital for too long then.
No, I was able in there for 4 days, and then within that week, so I was admitted on Thursday, released on Monday, and I had my outpatient rehab starting that Friday.
So did they have to do any type of medication to open the veins, or the veins that were damaged there was no other way around to expand again? Because sometimes, at least with my mom, I remember they come up with the some medications to dissolve or the clot in the vein, right? Did you have the same thing?
Yeah, no, it would had to been too long. So for
Um,
the it's usually that is given about 3 hours into the stroke. Mine was 36 hours.
oh, okay. So the damage was already done, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's incredible. One third, and you didn't. I mean, 10 years later, almost 10 years later, you are 100%.
Pretty much.
Well,
Is that
there
still?
is anything that you believe you still have to recover? Because to me, you are 100%.
Well, thank you so much. I still get uh, fatigued if I talk too long, or I'm over older older. overly excited. I had some anxiety, um, but in my speech is still progressing.
And when you said that the first word was mom, from
Yeah.
that point on, how long it took you to start actually speaking, formulating phrases and everything?
From that point onward, was a true struggle, but I tried to push myself every day in my recovery. So I would say that first month, I was able to formulate more and more sentences. Um, Writing is still a challenge, but I wanted to, uh, how do I say? I wanted to have ongoing challenges to continue to better myself. So for my speech, I tried to put myself in situations where I was people did not know about my struggle and tried to fend for myself.
Hmm.
So one of my first stories of challenge was going to the grocery store by myself and asking for something at the meat counter. And I almost broke down in tears because I couldn't get out my words and the person couldn't understand me. And I said, oh, and I said, I but I did it, but it was hard.
And I can only imagine how hard it was, for example, because you are super active at work. How was your comeback to work and communicate and leading meetings and things like that?
I had not gone back to work yet.
So you basically retire?
No, I still want to go back to work. I was released from my job and I tried to have interviews and things of that nature, but all the rejection that took a toll. So I continued to allow myself challenges. So I enrolled in. I went back to school for computer programming.
Hmm.
So which I already knew, but I wanted to re-familiarize myself for current tools. So I went to Common College for continuing education. I loved it. But I was able not still unable to get a job. So I went back for this is a I learned how to sew as part of my recovery because I had hand dexterity issues. So I learned how to sew and I started a nonprofit called So Happy Foundation, where I teach other stroke for survivors crafts to work on their mobility for the hands.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
So finished. I had 2 degrees in fashion design and technical pattern making, and
Wow.
this is a new passion project for me. I just love it.
So this is what you do
And
now. You don't want to. I mean, do you want to go back to the office, or this is your new career now?
no, I still want to go back to the office in a new capacity. So I have done many roles in the IT field,
Yeah.
and I love programming and requirements to get elicitation and project management. I love all that, but I wanted to. I have so many ideas for apps for sewing, apps for speech therapy. I have so many creative ideas now that I had new pathways have opening up in my brain. Before I had never I was never able to draw or make things with my hands. Now I can do all those things.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
I still want to. So in 2024, it's my. I I say this every year. I want to go back to work. and I had been working all this time, but I'm so grateful for the people that I had met along the way, because maybe I would not have not met them or participated in their healing journeys and sharing my story about just overcoming this challenge. Um, and so my main name means purpose, and I really feel that I'm living out my true purpose in life, just to communicate this journey about this debilitating cir- 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 circumstance, and just continue to fight in a positive way, because it could have been so different for my outcome could have been so different. And I just want to express, if you are over you if you have challenges that you are overcoming, just do your absolute best, and just keep fighting.
Yeah. No, this is beautiful, and this is so inspirational. The way that you handle that, and that you discover new abilities that you are exploring and helping others. Now, you said that you've tried to go back to the office at some point. What happened when you tried? Did you feel that you were not ready, or the attempts to find a job, they were not ready for you?
They were not ready for me. um i i I had applied for like 30 jobs, and I got some few callbacks, and the phone interviews, they were not good in the early days. That I would try my absolute best, but my speech was not where it needed to be easily understood.
Hmm.
And so that my challenge when I went back to school at Dallas College, wanted to really challenge myself to communicate in other ways. Um, and every day in class was a challenge for me, just to understand the um, verbal cues,
Hmm.
and understand the deadlines that we had to meet. So all of this, all of it was a learning experience for me.
Yeah, but the great thing is that you never shy away from the challenge. You were pursuing the challenge and in trying to get better on every little detail. And
Yeah, yeah.
this is a excellent attribute. I mean, I'm a hire manager myself, that I hire people to my team or to other teams that I interview people. And this is a great attribute. So I think that more than ever, first of all, your speech is perfect. You can um, definitely express yourself without any problems. At least this is how I feel. And next year, without a doubt, it's gonna be your year if you really want to go back to the office and revisit the things that you've done, and do it again. I'm fully sure that you are capable of going through the interview process and with flying colors. You know.
Oh, thank you so much. I will tell you there's two stories of being able to overcome, or three stories. One was when I was in the hospital, and my husband, he said at the time, the doctor said there's no hope, no hope for her.
Wow, really?
And I said, you don't know me. You don't know me. So that was challenge number one.
And he said that based on the exams. He said when he said no hope, is like she's never gonna speak again. It was.
He said, yeah. It's he said maybe you don't know how she's going to come out of this. Maybe there's no hope that she will even open her eyes again. Maybe there's no hope that she can even speak again. So my test for getting out of the hospital was be able to write my name. And Yuri, I remember holding that pencil. I said, I'm writing my name. Come on, I'm writing my name, and I still have it on my in my notes, my the piece of paper that I wrote my name on. I'm getting out of this hospital.
Um,
So that was story number one. Never, you, never let someone write you off as having no hope. Even if you're at your rock bottom, if you have hope in yourself, there all is always room to rise to the top. Always, always.
Amazing.
Story number two. When I went, so I was officially disabled by in the eyes of the court. I had to go in front of a judge, and he said, the judge, he knew my story. He knew that I was going back to school for programming, all those things, and he said, he he was gracious and kind, and he said, you are amazing because you have done all this to get back to yourself. But he said, I will be just honest with you. No employer will make these concessions for you to go back to work because you had in the business world you had real deadlines and you had these kind of accommodations that is not realistic. And I said, that is in your opinion. You don't know me. You don't know me. So and I had heard that multiple times from various doctors as well. Oh, you are too positive. Maybe you're this is too not realistic for you to have these goals. They are my goals. I know what it takes to succeed in anything I set my mind to. I know. So you can't tell me you can't. I can't do this. I can do anything.
Yep.
I can do anything.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, this is amazing. Not a better way to start the year with such a beautiful story. And now I'm super curious to see how it's gonna be 2024 for you, my friend, because I think it's
Yes.
gonna be amazing. 10 years mark, you are 100%, if not 99.99. And I think a lot of things that she worked so hard throughout those past 10 years, you're gonna harvest. I mean, I have no doubt about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also recently finished a full stack Java development program. I love Java. I love to program, and yeah, I surprised myself with all my output, and so you can do it if you have a goal. You can do it. Just believe in yourself. That is foremost.
Hmm.
If you believe in yourself, not you are unstoppable.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes I believe that many times people quit just because some things in life take long to accomplish.
Hmm.
Look at
Hmm.
you, 10 years, and you put the work every single day. You put the work every single month. It is about consistency. It's about doing the same thing over and over. And you know how rehab is. Sometimes it's about repetitions. Just like at the gym, for you to get better, you have to do a lot of repetitions, a lot of exercise, repeat the same thing over and over. And people nowadays they want immediate results, and
Yeah,
unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
correct, correct.
But if you have this level of resilience and you have the discipline to do the things that you may not even want to do, but you know that you have to do it, then the result will come at some point.
Yeah. I remember someone telling me it takes saying a word 10,000 times to have the fluency or proficiency to pronounce it. So every time, sometimes I will shy away from certain words, just because it's still difficult for me to do it. And I said, I have not hit the 10,000 word yet. Maybe not this time, but maybe next time.
Yeah. Throughout the rehab, um, do you have a moment that you felt a little bit of despair? I know that you are not a quitter and everything, but there was any moment that you were like, you start doubting that you were gonna be able to do, or you never did?
No, I remember specifically about 6 months into my rehabilitation. I was looking and going over my resume, and I said, "Oh God, all this time that I had spent doing education and bettering myself, what I can't if I can't do it, all that time was wasted." Or um, I remember saying I have no value now, and that was my rock bottom, and I needed to go through that,
Why?
and because I had to acknowledge out loud, this is a limitation, this is not forever, and what and I took some accountability for where I was at that point to know that I can get better. This is a one moment in time. Let your spell self feel whatever you need to feel. That moment of despair, I needed to that to say to myself, this is not the end. There's always another. So this is one rung on the ladder. You can always go up from here. Always. So for me, that was my um, taking some accountability of that moment of despair
Hmm.
was necessary, and that was also my release. So now the shackles were off me. I can fly again.
Yeah. But it's beautiful how you took that, because some people reach that rock bottom and they just don't have the will to go up again, because they keep feeling sorry for themselves all the time. So instead of using that moment, just say, from now on, I can only go up, they just stay down, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And you did exactly the opposite. It's almost like you use that as a motivation to go up again, because you said, okay, I am already rock bottom. Like, there is no other
yeah.
way to
Rock
go
bottom.
other than this. So the only way from now on is up.
Yeah, yeah,
That's amazing. Uh, and I think that all those lessons build a whole different Nia from 10 years ago. You probably are much better person, stronger, more self-aware, and I think when you bring all that to your next job opportunity, you're gonna have so much fun. It'll be tremendous, not only for you, but for whoever hires you will find, all those qualities in you.
yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Nia, this is a beautiful story. Thank you very much for taking the time to share. I really hope that 2024 is an amazing year for you. Thanks for reaching out when I had my own struggle with my mom had a stroke, and you reach out, you send a message. Truly appreciate that, and keep shining, keep showing to everyone that is possible, and leading by example.
Oh, thank you so much. And if there is anything that I can do for you, just reach out.
And I will be watching you in 2024. I want to see you back in the office doing what you love.
Yes.
It'll be awesome. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. This is a wrap for our first episode of 2024. Thank you very much for joining. Make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and see you again next month.